Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Again, we are going to try to test a little bit of the performance of another aircraft using War Thunder real-time information. I was actually planning to test the Su-27, but for some reason War Thunder real-time information is not working with War Thunder with the Su-27, right? So we're going to test the Gripen instead. And once the live server is actually open, we might I might do a video on that. So let's do the same tests that I did with the F-15. We're going to try to measure power, or thrust rather. We're going to try to test AOA, turning capability and everything like that. And after, we're going to try to test a little bit of the fuel consumption and climb and everything like that. So yeah, the first thing is the power. So we can even see a thrust weight with minimal fuel. I'm not consuming fuel right now, but still 1.4. You can see it's when it's light like this, it can be very, very deadly. And the engine already is at its max power and it maintains it. So very, very good engine because of that. This engine is based off of the engine of the F-18, if you don't know, right? So yeah, clearly a very, very strong engine. Let's try again. Of course, always remember there are minor changes between temperature in the maps and stuff like that that will change the power of the engine, but still it's good to have an idea. 108 kilonewtons or 10,850 kilogram force. So that's the maximum amount of power, way less than the 270 of the F-15 combining the two engines. But of course it's a much lighter aircraft, right? So of course it will be a little bit weaker because it is lighter as well. Let's see the turn ratio of the aircraft. We are quite fast, so let me just reduce the airspeed over here. These aircraft are really efficient on maintaining airspeed, so it's quite hard. Yeah, the AOA maintains it a little bit more than the F-15 and a little bit more than the MiG-29. It kind of is similar to something like the F-16. So again, let's test it out. Yeah, 22, 23, 24, 25... Yeah, 25 degrees of AOA. We are a little bit heavier than the F-15 was comparatively because of the fuel. I have 5 minutes more than I tested with it, but still it's already having a lot more AOA than the F-15, as you can see. 25 degrees up there, see? Let's try to take a look on the turning as well. Hold up, let me get some speed. I'm very sick today, so sorry about my voice. Yeah, 30 to 40 degrees, maintaining in a fairly standard way. Much better than the F-15, I gotta say. The F-15 can maintain until 40. It kind of hits 40 at around 700 or something like that, and then it goes down. So this one can actually maintain closer to the 40s for a longer period of time, or more than 30. So yeah guys, very deadly aircraft on that. It can turn like almost no aircraft in the game. The only comparison that I think you can see in this aircraft is a little bit of the Su-27, but mostly the F-16A. It's an aircraft that can like get those numbers on, you know. As I said, I mean, even with the F-15 not maintaining that turning capability for as long as the Gripen can, the F-15 can still manage to hit those numbers. So the F-15 kind of proves the point that if you are going to enter in a dogfight with the F-15, you don't have a lot of time, but when you are in the correct speed, you can beat basically any aircraft. It's just that after you lose a lot of energy, it starts to be kind of a brick. So you really need to be careful with that. So comparatively, you know, the F-15 will be an aircraft that in the right hands can still beat a Gripen, an F-16, an Su-27, a MiG-29, but it needs to be kind of a skilled pilot to get the kill very quickly, because if not, you will end up dying, right? So yeah, and you can see the amount of G's that you are pulling down there. 14.1. Lost control, hold up. Pulling too many G's. I'm too fast actually, let me lower the airspeed a little bit. There we go. 14.3. Yeah, so it is one of the highest turning aircraft ever. But I want to on the level of G's, right? So, but I wanted to try something else. Let me get some altitude a little bit just so that I don't crash. Keep an eye on the AOA up there. Let's try to do this. I'm too fast. Hold up. Like 700, I think it should be fine. If you do this, look the AOA, man, it goes to 40 degrees. Oh my god, it's like a kind of a Cobra. You don't have to use full real controls to actually do kind of, it's not really a Cobra, there's another name for this maneuver, but still, you can do something similar to a Cobra if you do this, right? If you just roll it and then pull it, as you saw. But yeah, guys, this is the lightest aircraft ever. I mean, my god. So I'm gonna grab full fuel load, and I'm not gonna use missiles, but I'm gonna record the number of time to climb to 13,000 meters, just like I did with the F-15. On the F-15 was 1 minute for 54. So let's wait and see how it is. So I'm gonna grab just a consuming fuel Gripen, and then we can actually test that theory out, right? Because the fuel consumption actually changes a lot. So limited fuel, I'm gonna grab a full tank, because you know we need to have the fuel to actually get to those speeds and those altitudes. And I'm gonna grab my phone over here. It isn't going to be the most exact thing ever, because I started that one kind of rolling a little bit, so I will roll a little bit, and then I'm gonna start the clock. So yeah, let's see if I can get to 13,000 meters before the F-15. So yeah, we are already here. The flight path will be basically the same. I'm gonna get to 1,000 kilometers per hour on the deck. Then I'm gonna try to climb to like 30-35 degrees, and then I'm gonna, you know, decrease that once I'm actually flying a little bit higher. So already 30 seconds. It feels like it accelerates a little bit less fast, you know. Let's do 30 degrees. Is it 30? Yes, we are maintaining the speed, as you see. So we're gonna grab a little bit more speed on here. The thrust weight, even with a full fuel load, as you see, it's close to 1. So even heavily fueled, it is an aircraft that is very much a lightweight, you know. I mean, it is producing 80 kilonewtons, man, and it was our light 90 kilonewtons, and it was close to the 1.0 mark. So you can clearly see that it's a very, very light aircraft, and it can climb, man. It can really, really climb. I think it's gonna be worse than the F-15, but still, let's like go to a 25 degree over here to maintain a positive IAS there. And it's a lot more fuel efficient, I think. You know, it consumes less fuel, relatively, right? But it's going to be close. We are 20 seconds to the mark of the F-15, and we are already at 10,000. I'm gonna like maybe maintain here to give it a chance. Maintaining Mach 1. 54 now. The F-15 was already at 13,000. And we are at 11,000. So it's a little bit less than the F-15. You can clearly see that it's a little bit less. I'm gonna have to take it down a little bit. It takes like 20-30 seconds more. Of course, the higher the altitude, the harder it is to climb. So I'm maintaining 60 meters of climb, as you see, 13,000. So it was basically 2 minutes and 18 seconds. So a little bit more, like 20, 25, 30 seconds more than an F-15 compared. In the same kind of setting, right? Full fuel tank, no missiles, everything like that. But see how efficient this Gripen is on the consumption of fuel and everything like that. It is not producing a lot of power, and you can see what happens when you fly really high with an aircraft. You know, you can see that the power, the thrust there is a lot less than it was, even with me flying very fast, because the only speed that matters for the aircraft, it's like if there is a true airspeed, there is always the Mach and the speed right up there, 1200 kilometers per hour, for example. But what the aircraft is feeling is the IAS, right? So if you have a low IAS, it means that the engine will not produce a lot of power, which is very interesting to take a look. So yeah, let's see the max speed of this thing in high altitudes, and I'll be right back. So as you see, it takes a long time, guys. I've been here for a kind of a long time, and the aircraft just doesn't get to Mach 2. It really lacks the power of being a fast interceptor. But the objective isn't to be like that. It is to be a light fighter, right? And still, I mean, just because it's not a Mach 2.3, it doesn't mean that the aircraft is slow, right? It is just, it's like an F-16 and F-18 aircraft like that, you know. It's a different type of concept. But yeah, it's really, really hard to gain speed over here. I'm Mach 1.8 now, and I gotta be honest, it's going to take some minutes, man. I don't know if I'm gonna have the fuel to actually get to a similar speed to the F-15. I'm gonna try over here, but the aircraft is just not getting any speed. It's really taking its time to actually accelerate. So you can clearly see that the F-15 will probably be the fastest aircraft in the game, in the sense that it doesn't even matter the max speed of it. The pure acceleration of that thing, it is going to be amazing. It really, really is going to be better than most aircraft. The acceleration will be amazing. I really want to test it out a little bit with the Su-27. But as I said, I mean, it's complicated because the program is not working with that aircraft for some reason. But yeah, we're basically kind of stuck on a speed over here. Mach 1.8. I'm gonna try to lower the altitude a little bit to help me see if I can get to the max speed, because I'm gonna end up, you know, running out of fuel before I even get to Mach 2 if I maintain to do this. This is helping a little bit, even though I'm losing a lot of speed, and because of that it becomes a little bit harder to actually do everything, right? So yeah, Mach 2, so it is capable of dealing with Mach 2, but you're not gonna use Mach 2 in this aircraft in a normal match. The F-15, yes, it can be possible if you are intercepting a target, but I don't know. Let me try to do a steep dive over here if I can reach the Mach. No, I'm just reaching the max speed of it on the IAS. So yeah, it's problematic. I don't know what's the max speed on this thing in the game. You can get to Mach 2, but it's low to get to there. Let's try to climb a zoom climb like I did with the F-15. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get to the 25,000 meters that I did with the F-15, but it's still, I mean, I gotta say, guys, I mean, it depends, right? I mean, it's still a light fighter. That's the thing. It's supposed to be cheaper than an Su-27 and a F-15 or something like that. Be lighter and everything like that, and it still can maintain its own. It's not on par with the F-15 in performance, like speed and stuff, but it's still pretty good. And as you see right here, you can't go much. I mean, technically you could, but look at the engine. I mean, the engine is still producing a lot of power if you compare to the F-15 one at these altitudes. But yeah, 80 kilometers per hour. The aircraft is just stalling out. So yeah, guys, but as you see, not as fast as the F-15, not as fast accelerating as the F-15, but it has a better, you know, control in a dogfight, I think, because it can maintain the highest turn rate for a longer period of time compared to the F-15. They're not really comparable to each other, of course, but I'm just comparing the new aircraft, and it's so cool. This aircraft is cool, man. My country uses this, so yeah, I love this thing. Even though they were quite expensive to buy, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think about the Gripen and the F-15 in the performance department. I see you guys in the next one, and yeah, bye. See ya.